Everybody wants to work in a bipartisan way. We want Republicans to come on board. But the fact is that this country today faces more unprecedented crises in terms of the pandemic, in terms of unemployment, in terms of low wages, in terms of 90 million people not having any health care. We have got to move. The American people are hurting, and we have got to respond rapidly. I hope my Republican colleagues come on board, but if not, we're going forward.
And like we did before, there's going to be some things you just can't come to an agreement on because of philosophical differences you can't get through that barrier. Then they can use whatever they need. But we ought to try to do what we can do in a bipartisan way. Let's do that first, showing that we can start out the new Congress bipartisan. And what we don't agree bipartisan, then Senator Schumer and the leadership and the Democrat caucus has other means to move things along. And I think that it's appropriate. I mean, everybody's going to keep everything on the table.
You're the first one here. You're early. All right. What's your pleasure?
Clearly, it always is helpful if you can get bipartisan support. I've said that. Our new president has said that. If you can't, though, we're not going to let people object just for objection's sake, and we're going to move forward to meet the urgent needs of folks who are dealing in our communities with COVID, with rising unemployment in so many communities, and we're not going to let government, by objection, make it possible to not meet their needs. Are there things?
Yeah, Keystone, we just have a disagreement there.
I appreciate the...
Really, it's just true that we just have a disagreement, and we have to look at it, and they have to look at the safety factors. They have to look at the safety factors. And basically, I've had a train blow up in my state. I know that product's still coming to the United States. I think it's safer to come by pipe than it is by road or rail. So we'll have those discussions. I think that.
Again, I mean, this is not an American crisis, it's a global crisis. If we do not transform our energy system and lead the world, we can't do it alone. We've got to work with China, we've got to work with Russia, we've got to work with India, Brazil. We've got to work with countries around the world to transform our energy system. And when we do that, we're going to create millions of good-paying jobs. It is a major, major imperative that we have got to be very aggressive on.
Last thing.
It's 11,000 jobs that are cut with the one stroke of the pen of President Biden. It looks like President Biden is working on a make America unemployed again kind of strategy, thinking more about Saudi Arabian workers and Montana workers and U.S. workers. It's devastating to our state of Montana. It's $80 million a year of tax revenues every year for some of the impoverished counties. It's a carbon neutral transportation source. So it's environmentally sound. It's about jobs. It's about tax revenues. Importantly, it's about energy security and reducing dependencies on adversaries who don't have our best interests at heart by being American energy independent.